Happy Sunday, everybody! Good news, great news, even better news. Let's get into all the news, all the news, all the news. Because I did not want to actually make any videos because I was just like depressed over the fact that this was going to be like a super prolonged, as like all the critics were saying, prolonged engagement in Iran with the American Air Forces. But no, both of the pilots have been rescued, thankfully. And this is the funniest time. It's like I said, not only is it pathetic that you have a bunch of like gay mans, gay Muslim mans chilling in the desert, waiting for their prey, you know, casually having, anal sex with each other, but they couldn't even get them. So it's just like, all right, well, guess you gotta go back to having a gay anal sex. Broke back Iran, broke back Afghanistan, broke back Punjab. All the fucking faggots are taking like, a fucking holiday, Easter Sunday, going man deep in each other. Because it's like it's come out that the daughter of the Iron, and I said this before, and like holla at Tal Oran were for actually I'm not sure if it's him or other Barack who showed me this like story of the, I don't know if it's specifically these ones that were caught recently and then they had their visa, their green card revoked. It's like, get the fuck out of this country, you loser. And the funniest shit is like the daughter of this IRGC homo, right? Because it's like, for a fact that like if his daughter like was it like known and like was it named, like chances are she goes back in Iran and she's just like, walking around without her hijab, she's done for. She's smoked. It's the most fucked up thing is to see her at Coachella because I know exactly where that building. Well, not exactly. I've never been to California or Burning Man. I just see the pictures a lot. I know where that building is. It's just like, oh, there, that building. And it's just like, everyone's coming through like the fucking pedophile brigade, man. It's kind of like fucked up how you have like a festival like dealing with like freedom and I don't know. I'm guessing like whatever, some sort of like sexual liberation. Then you have this girl, this family members are like, yo, you better cover up, we'll beat you to death, and then we'll get your like our what do you call it, our hired, basically goons to rape you because that's the way, man. That's the way of their life. And now, like, they can't, and it's so funny, like, everyone's saying the exact same thing. It's like, yo, you deserve it. You belong to be in a place where people are subjected to the same like kinds of punishment and shit than you are. But like you also have to look at like the broader aspect about this. The people who take these like animals in, the people who like either are oblivious to it, which is almost as bad. Like you just can't have like this lack of punctuality, this lack of like knowing a person's background and shit, especially in this day and age. Like you have to basically do your homework. You have to check on people's histories, their affiliations, their parents most likely, because we're getting to see, the incels, the IRGC, all these people, like they're such frauds that it's almost ridiculous, right? Like you have Incel TV, right? Last week he comes out and he's like bashing this because of me, basically. He's bashing this like one brown guy because and this isn't anything new. Like you're always gonna have people who are outside of an ethnicity and they're gonna complain about people inside of that ethnicity not liking them. But what they're really saying is those individuals in that group don't like me in specificity, not everybody. Because it's just like a blanket statement to say that like everybody is gonna judge me based off of the actions of a very few. But like we also have to look at the fact that this is gonna like go away. This is going to go down in the history books as the most pathetic, the most hilarious, the most like desperate group of losers the world has ever seen. The IRGC and all their supporters are gonna be known as like your typical Saturday morning cartoon villains who have no, grand scheme of things. They just want world domination for the sake of world domination. And they're like, I don't know, they have like an evil laugh or like whatever, stroking their cat, banging on the desk or some shit like, oh, I'll get these guys again. I'll make these women cover up those damn women and their freedoms. Next time. Next time. The cat's just like. Oh, yeah. Sorry, that was a little bit too much a go-go gadget, but like, still, you get the point, right? Like, your bad guys are such like typical like cartoon cutout retards that it's just you might as well just assume that they're all the same and like move on with your life because like think about the gaming market right now, right? The increase in price is pissing everybody off, but does it have to happen? Absolutely. We have to understand the reason why. Because even though the price of the console on the shelves in these stores is going up, you have to understand that most of the people who have air quotes bought the console, right? They didn't actually buy it. They scalped it and it's like sitting in some fucking warehouse or garage or whatever. And it's like that. These things, game consoles, Pokemon cards, GPUs, RAM. I'm guessing motherboards as well, because where are you gonna put the RAM, right? Um, Whatever, like computer monitors. I'm guessing that the whole TV and the computer monitor thing isn't gonna be like a shortage now, but it might, be in the future, right? Other components like game controllers, everything like went up in price because the vast majority of people who have these things are actually scalpers. And the retailers did fucking all about it because all they cared about was making money. But it's not their job to like, police the world in its like capitalistic ways. They just have to make sure that the money is there, which it was most of the time. Like a lot of people don't understand this about scalpers, but they most likely had help from outside. So they could be, the competitors, Microsoft and Nintendo, scalping your Sony PlayStations and shit. And then at the same time, they're like trying to run like counter or defense or whatever. When we scalp Xboxes, we also scalp, Nintendos and shit. No, it's always about PlayStation. That's why like it's the only price increase that actually kind of makes sense to me. Not because like I like it or like I think it's 100% necessary, but like in light of all like the things around the world and the fact that you have to make the majority of the money from these consoles on software sales, and if someone's just gonna scalp it and just sit on, a piece of hardware they're not even gonna turn on, they're not even gonna put on the internet or anything, and just wait to sell it to like somebody else, then they have to like nickel and dime people. And that's why they like, they're pushing it so hard. All these games that they're releasing and stuff. The next John Wick game is gonna be absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. Not even day one purchase. I'm gonna like pre-order it. I kind of feel bad I missed out on, what do you call it? John Wick Hex. It's like this like mobile game. Oh, it looks fun though. Cause I'm a big ass 20 pony, like I said. That's how I am. That's what I do, man. That's how I operate. Not a lot of people like to hear me say that. Thinking that like I'm the one of the reasons why consumer prices are being driven up. Newsflash, okay? Anybody can buy a video game console, just the same way as anybody can go to Coachella, as long as you have enough money, or your parents, like your parents like enslaved country money, man. Well, that's gotta be so embarrassing because, like, think about it like this. Like, really, 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 really think about it. This girl, I'm not like saying she's like hot or anything, but I'm like, she's passable. Like, honestly, if I didn't know, like, she was like the daughter of the IRGC or whatever, I'd be like, I wouldn't ask her out, but I'm just like, be like, whatever. I can see her as like somebody's girlfriend or whatever, just some hot girl, side chick or whatever. And the reason I bring that up is because, can you imagine, motherfucker, you've been in politics for God knows how long. God knows how long. And you couldn't even get an interview with her. You couldn't, like, get to know her or nothing. And she's just, like, out there partying at a Coachella. And, like, Hassan's, like, one of those guys who, like, is a wannabe rich kid. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like he's not rich, but at the same time, like, he has to prove that he's rich with his, like, shitty ass, like, clothing taste and, like, complete waste of money on, like, a fashion sense that, like, you could just like open up a magazine page and just like, oh, okay, that's my fashion sense, Hassan Avi. I was like, what the fuck is this? Is that like some kid? Eat the rich. It's got a point. Aren't you rich? No, I meant the other one. You got to eat the rich to be the rich. Oh man. So, like, can you imagine, like, Hassan's been in the game for, like, God knows how long, and he doesn't even know who this chick is? Like, oh, dude, they could have had some, like, really terroristic babies. Some really, like, animal abusing offspring. Oh my god. And they don't even know each other. That's, like, the craziest part. It's like, damn. That's gotta suck, dude. Because it's like, yo, she's getting sent back. Yo, could you imagine? Hassan, just like it's my time to shine, right? I gotta protect my Islamic sister from the deportation of the evil American Zionist regime. I will wed thee. And then like you see him like running to the airport. He has like the tux on. He has a ring in his pocket or whatever. Oh man, that's kind of actually romantic in like a weird like Islamic terroristic way. It's just like they're at the airport. And he's like, I won't let you leave. You're a part of me. I guess not on one knee. Or they're like going through the metal detector or some shit like that. It's like, oh, gets tackled on the floor. All this security and shit. But that's not gonna happen because it's like Hassan has come out. It's okay. It's cool. And I'm not like saying this as like a thing to do against them and to make fun of them because you could have saved this girl if you were straight, but no, whatever, right? Like it's his life choice, and we're beginning to see that this is an inescapable reality that if we choose to ignore, we're putting our future generations, specifically our own offspring, in like harm's way. It's like, what is that? Oh, it's just guys wrestling. It's just guys playing piggyback. One guy goes on top, the other guy goes on the bottom. They're just naked and shit for some reason. I don't like the noises that they make. Hey, yo, it's kind of crazy how like the signs were always there, like the affinity for like not only these so-called bisexuals, like Destiny and shit, Vosh, whatever, right? But like these vagrant homosexuals to come on their like thing channel. videos, podcasts, and like at the same time when you're praising these like gay flags and like these pride movements and shit, you're talking about like terrorist movements because it was always a way to bridge the acceptance of like they don't like the idea that people aren't going to accept their homosexuality, like it's against the Christian norms and stuff in most of these countries to just say outright no to it. So they have this like defensive, preemptive hatred of you, and now you understand where its origin point is. It's their countries. It's their way of life that they're hiding from you. They're preventing you from knowing it because the shame is just too great. They built themselves up off of this like reputation of like being strong and stoic and like incapable of like fluctuations of deceit, and yet they were the most deceitful, weakest, the most pathetic. Guys like enjoying the company of men, and then like picking up these like old ass AK-47s, these old ass Soviet era weapons. Bootleg existence, dude. Bootleg existence. I can't even imagine how that must feel, like from the day you were born to the day you will die, you are the shadow of another people and their civilization. Basically, you are a base, like the base of like a human civilization that becomes a customer of another like civilization. It's like, hey, you guys need guns? Because you guys like to kill people and rape kids? Here you go. You can't make them yourselves. And then you go, "Ah, la, 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 la." And then you like, you send your whole ass daughters and shit to like, Coachella and try to make them blend in with the crowd. Oh yeah. Never mind these like, massive amounts of human rights violations and shit. And like, you have to like even open up your mind to the idea that maybe the daughter, this like little like just a kid of these like officers and stuff has no idea of like the grand scheme of things of like how it must like go down in Iran. And now she will know like firsthand, dude. Most likely they'll go to another country. Like if they're just gonna get like deported out of America. She's like, yo, fuck that. I'm going to Iran. You're going to Bali. I'm going to like a fucking Ibiza. I'm going somewhere else. I'm fucking. It's like honestly, that's what everybody like thinks is gonna happen. It's like, yeah, that would be fucking funny to be honest. But it's not gonna happen. It's like, here's the craziest part is that even though, and this isn't funny, this is actually kind of sad. Even though she's just gonna get like, kid gloves treatment, there's just, whatever. You're not gonna live in America, you just live in America, like, discount America or like, some resort destination and shit. There's so many women that have died because of the IRGC, which is like the most ridiculous part about this like whole like thing coming out is that these guys who are pushing for like the IRGC and the control basically wanted the commodification of women because their kind, their race, their religions, Sikhism, Islam, the commodification of women and like the inbreeding, like years and years of it that basically define their race. It's their downfall. They have to basically wake up every day knowing that they are the de facto, you know, Saturday morning villains, cartoon cutouts of caricature of an actual human being, like, just What's left after you take away everything else? It's just this nothingness, child rape and all that shit, pedophiles and stuff.